Hey Flosstube. It has been about a month and a half since I've filmed. I'm here. It's a Saturday. It's the 13th. Don't look too closely because my hair actually needs to be washed. But you know what? After this, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to take down my Halloween decorations 2 weeks after Halloween. But you know what? People keep their Christmas tree up until after the first of the year. So yeah, and you know, Halloween all year, right? So I've got to take down my Halloween decorations because it's time. They're going to be up for Thanksgiving if I wait any longer. And I actually need to go out and buy some pansies and put in the front garden where I have tombstones at the moment. So, you know, I'm not going to shower before we do that. So you guys get Grunge M. Got new glasses, which is not unusual for me, but I got a new prescription. So that was fun adjusting to because it went up about 2 strengths. It's fine. Yeah, let's get started. I, first off, have a big finish and FFO to show. So I was so close the last time I filmed to finishing this. And not only is Halloween at Hollyberry Farm finished, but it's back from the framer. And after I show it to you guys, it is going up on my wall. Okay, let's see if we can find a way, aha, to show it without glare. This is museum glass, but I mean, it's still glass. I love it. This is on a piece of 36 count linen that I dyed myself. This is with the called for threads. It is framed a little tighter than I would usually request. The girl that I dropped this off with, she always frames tighter. And I always ask her, I'm like, how much allowance are you leaving? And she tells me, I'm like, okay. And then I don't know if she measures wrong or she puts it in the computer wrong or I don't know. But it's fine. It's tight. But it looks good. I'm just was glad it wasn't too tight and stitching wasn't covered. But I picked out the frame and this myself. It's 2 separate pieces. And I really love it. It's going to go in my bedroom on my side of the bed. Let's just appreciate it for another moment. So good. If this is something that you would like to stitch and you really like the way mine looks, the called for fabric is 18th Century Rook. I have a piece that I'll show you soon of 18th Century Blackbird by R&R, and it's pretty identical to mine. So there's that. Love it. So this is done. Then I have another finish. Right after that, I looked at what my oldest whips were that were dark. And this one has just been kind of lingering. It's been lingering so long, it's on 32 count. So it needed to be finished. It hasn't gone to the framers yet. We'll see. I need to measure it and see if it's something I could frame myself because it's a smaller piece. I like it, but it's not drop $100 on it like it. So this is Blackbird, Away We Ride. And it is done and wrinkled. But this is also in the called for threads. This is on hand dyed by Stephanie, chocolate milk, 32 count. Turned out pretty nice. What I did change on this one, we'll look at my back. What I did change on this one is I straightened up the edges of the house. I'm a big, like if you go to my office, all of the paperwork is lined up with right angles. I staple things at a right angle. I mean, I really need for things to have a little bit of order. The wonky curved sides of the house, I was struggling with just a wee bit. So there's that. Let's see. The next thing I worked on, I actually think we're going to give away today because I have so many whips and I don't love it. This is where I started Barbara Anna Witchy Dreams, and I don't know. I have no desire to get back to it. I changed the one color that was too close to the purple to a darker purple, and I just don't think I like it, and I don't know. If anybody is interested in this, let me know. Still kind of mulling it over. I don't know. What do you guys think I should do? Just stick it back like a ton of my other whips, and then maybe I'll feel the call of it one day? I don't know. I have a hard time parting with stitching. It's hard. You know, you put a lot of time into it. It is what it is. This is a new start that I already want to pull back out again. I really enjoyed it. People have just been flummoxed by the fact that I started and I'm working on this, but you know, I really like it. Clouds Factory Haunted House. In case you've never seen that before, because it's not super popular. Jessie Marie finished it recently, which really upped for me. Upped it in my start list. This is the 18th Century Blackbird. This tangled mess is the threads. When I'm done working on something, I will literally just toss it in the bag and be like, figure that out next time. It's pretty cool. That moon turned out really neat. The bats are neat. The color changes are coming through really well. I'm digging it. So I can see this one getting a lot of love. Little love of the back of the piece. Yeah, I like it. I desperately need a haircut. You can tell how fried and frazzled my ends are. I need to like chop off at least an inch. Getting a haircut here at my house isn't going to the salon. It's pinning my husband down long enough and getting him to do it. All I do is cut it all one length. I don't need to pay somebody $30 to do that. Do you know what kind of cross-stitch stuff I could buy for $30? I could buy a piece of linen. So Jim cuts my hair. But it has been 6 to 9 months since he's cut it. Oh, it's just, it looks so bad on the bottom. We've got to do that this weekend. And I've been trying to wear it down again more because where my natural color is growing out, like you can tell up here, up maybe is natural, and then this is fading into, I think, more of my natural color as well. I don't know. I'm liking it. I'm enjoying seeing maybe what my natural color is. I don't know. The other day, my sister shared a bunch of pictures with me that she had found of just the two of us, and she was like collaging them and sending them to me. And there was one of me with like bobbed off black hair, and I thought, oh, that looks good. And I thought, no. You've been trying to grow your hair. You've been trying to find your natural color. Do not chop it off and dye it black. But I had the urge. This bag was gifted to me, and I love it. I will admit, either I'm too stupid to figure out her website or they're constantly sold out. It could be either one. So this bag is by Creative Country Girl or TammyBlaylock.com. and she reached out to me and she said, look, I just designed this bag and I'm making some for my website, but it just screams Emily. And it does. Like, my favorite start of Dark October, like I was gonna save this for my 40 starts, but my favorite Dark October start had to go in here. So it did. It has this really cool pull that she put on it with my initial. And then something else neat about her bags, which I've seen one other person recently I noticed does this, but on the inside, there is a loop sewn in with another pull. Just look at that, that's cool. And you can just attach your threads on there. And it's great. So the threads are attached to the bag. This was my Dark 13 Dark October crossover start. I showed it to you guys last time. This is Haunted House Sampler by Twin Peak Primitives. I downloaded it. You can get it on lots of different sites now. You can get a paper copy. I know 123 Stitches had it. It is charted for DMC. I did a color conversion. I showed that in my last video. I think I have stuck true to what I decided. I'm pretty well known to be stitching something though and go, that doesn't look right, and rip it out and change the color. But I'm stitching this on a Zweigart base of Weeks Dye Works, gray, Confederate gray. Still not sure what the name of this is now. And this is how far I got, and I absolutely love it. I think this is a perfect fabric for it. Confederate gray is so subtly modeled that you can't tell that much, but it just makes it look aged. I love this. It has me second guessing what I'm working on right now for Dark 13 because it's the 13th of the month again. Love it. I love it. I love this. I think it looks so good. I have so many whips right now, and then I'm starting 40 for next year. So at the end of next year, I'm going to have about 100 whips. I'm strangely okay with that though. Some people I know, it makes them have mild heart palpitations, makes them nervous, they feel overwhelmed. I'll finish it all eventually, or I won't, you know? It's fine. I don't get stressed out about it, which is good. I love this. But I still like to have finishes. So sometimes I'll just get really focused on something and I'll finish it like this. So I have a few pieces in mind that I want to knock out in the coming months. And in between my starts, I had thought that I'll have start, focus. Start, focus. So maybe even next year with 40 starts, I can knock out 2 or 3 pieces. It would be pretty great. This was an impromptu new start. I wasn't planning to start this at all. I started this on the 6th of this month for, if y'all can hear my stomach, it is just making all kinds of noises. Jim was craving cinnamon rolls earlier and talked me into cinnamon rolls for lunch. And we've been eating so much better and lower fat and calorie that I think my stomach is like, what are you doing? And this is about my 3rd cup of coffee. So, but Abby Bella Stitch, I started this for her birthday. She's doing the Bella Stitch B-Day Sal 2001 something. If you're on Instagram and you start typing in Bella Stitch. It'll be one of the hashtags that pops up and you can peruse. But she was basically like, this is what she was starting. This is Kathy Barrick's newer sampler, Nottingham. She was starting this in particular, but basically any Barrick design, Kathy or Marty or Liz Matthews. I love this chart. I do not love the colors. I feel like it's too aqua, pinky. I feel like it needs to be richer. So what did I do? Made it richer. So I was with my niece, who is pretty artistic as well. In fact, she draws and paints, and she works and decorates cookies at a cookie shop and is pursuing an art career potentially. She and I came up with these colors, and my stomach continues to make noises. Much more Emily. Beautiful design. Colors just needed to be richer. I am doing this on a piece of 36 count linen by Victorian Motto and the color Sand. And I got this much done. And you can tell, I mean, in the original, the leaves and the bird look like the same color, but they're not. They're two completely different called for colors. I'm sure oftentimes photography will mess with colors. We know that when you print things, the colors can change. But I really wanted a more obvious difference between the blue and the green. So my bird is Classic Colorworks Blue Corn, and my leaves are Gassed Forest Glade. I'm digging it. These are all overdyeds with the exception of right here, the T and the U. It calls for a gray, and I did DMC 535. We really, really, really need thread dyers to lock down some better grays. I need a palette of grays to pull from where when I put them out in daylight or under an aught light, I'm not like, that's actually purple, that's actually blue, that's green. I need it to be gray. And I know it's hard, but we got to figure this out, guys. We got to figure out some grays that are really gray. Because I keep ordering threads that say they're gray, and they come in purple and blue. It's a struggle. I get it, but it's a struggle. And when you don't have an LNS, it's worse, because I have like a box full of threads that I've bought going, this is going to be the one. It's not the one. It's not the one. I put that away last night, and I have pulled out what you can see here. Let's see if we can tilt you a little. I'm not going to show it because I've just done a little bit today. This is Ghoultide Welcome that I've pulled out. This is my working copy. I'm going to be working on this for a few days, filling in that house. You can see that's kind of what I'm doing. Just kind of working my way across windows. Yeah, it's going to take a while. It's fine. Let's talk about haul. Cozy Egg and I did a virtual get-together on the 29th of October, and it was so much fun. Like, the introvert in me, like, as it was getting closer, and I feel like a lot of you guys are introverts, so you probably get it. I was starting to kind of dread it a little, because I was like, oh, it's going to be a lot of people. I'm going to have to talk a lot. This is a lot of pressure. And it's it was starting to get really anxious about it. But as often is the case, once I actually got in there and realized that I knew a lot of the people, and the people that I didn't know were really cool, and people were talking, and it was just really easy and free flowing. It was nice. I really had a good time, and we stayed up way later than we expected, and I went to bed, gosh, 1:30 in the morning East Coast time, and I think they stayed up for another hour or two. Some people did. But Michelle, Cozy Egg, did an exclusive chart, which I still haven't started. Maybe I just need to take this to work and do it during a virtual hearing, because I could knock that out in a few hearings probably. But the awesome thing, that's kind of the Michelle chart. She did an Emily chart that was also exclusive to the get together. It's so cool. So what I want to do is, they're the same stitch count. I want to do both of them on the same fabric and then make a little pillow out of it to put in like a dough bowl at Halloween. Or, gosh, I would leave this out year round. So I've got to get on this. I need to find a little scrap of fabric to do these on, probably in a nice gray or grayish. The things I get excited about. And our list of people that came, it was a lot of people. I mean, we were like, we got to keep it small because it'll be easier to talk, but it was good. It was good. It was a good time. I bought this chart because I'm a sucker for a start along, and we're starting this for Laura Duet's birthday, the cereal starter. January 1st. This is going to be the first of my 40 starts, Laura. You consider yourself special. My plan is just to do the bird, like just this section. I might do the border work under it because that's kind of grounds it. And I am changing the colors because I am. Part of me wants to do the border as well with the weird funky cherubs because they're just so neat. And I've never, I mean, none of us have ever seen a border like that before. And pull it up. But I haven't decided that yet. Let's vote down in the comments. Cherub border or no cherub border. And if we still can't figure it out, maybe I'll do an Instagram poll. It's kind of neat, but that's a lot of extra stitching. And then you've got to figure out how to do that. Dear Ellen Chester of With My Needle, I love you so much. I said that I loved this chart, so you sent it to me and said this would be great in your 40 starts, and it will be great in my 40 starts. And it's big. It's a big girl. Let's find the stitch count. 315 by 313. So on a 36 count, it'll end up being 17.5 by 17 3/8. This might be something worth using one of my hoarded lakeside fat halves for. Yeah. Because it's charted for NPI or DMC. I still need to go get the DMC because we know I don't do NPI. Not because it's not a fantastic, but I just am not a big silk girl. Gosh, it's pretty. Look at that house. Look at that checkered roof. Ellen's a genius. Yeah? Yeah? I don't know when I'll start this. If anybody else has it and wants to start it, I don't know. Ellen read. Have you started it yet? Maybe you start this with me next year along with the other one we're talking about. I love it. You gotta get kitted. This one, okay, so if any of you are designers or run a shop or anything like that, let me tell you how to get my money. Tell me that something is exclusive and there's a limited amount, and once it's sold, I'll never be able to get it again. I like it. I really like this. I like the weird birds and the ship and the house, but when you tell me it's a limited edition exclusive for Hobby House Needleworks, I'm gonna go, oh, crap, I better grab one, because one day I'm gonna see it again and be like, I've got to start that right now, and I'm not gonna be able to get it, or it's gonna be on eBay for $80. I don't know if they still have them or not. I've had this one for a few weeks now. It came with, what's poking out here is just a little thread guide. I know a lot of people love these booklets. I don't love these booklets. It's really nice. It's super nice. But I think I'm going to end up making copies of it, because I really like to have my flimsy piece of paper and magnet it onto my Q-snap that's on my stand, so I can just sew and look at it. That's how I stitch, like I'm doing rodeo or something. But I can't magnet this to my Q-snap, and I don't have a table next to me. So there's not really a place to like sit it on a stand. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But it's cool. And there's a bonus chart that comes with it. It comes with a little notebook for some unknown reason. I don't really get this. But I mean, it's just blank paper. It's a head scratcher. I don't know. But I'll never use it, so guess what? When I resell this after I stitch it, it'll be with it like it's brand new. So there's that. I received, and if you are a part of the Threads of History Schoolgirl Sampler Club with Spring Green or Country Sampler in Spring Green, and you do not want to see this, fast forward a few minutes. But I received my second. You're supposed to get 4 a year. I'm not mad at them that this is only my second one and it's November, because guess what? It's really hard to kit stuff up right now, and I totally get that. So in order for them to source threads and linen enough to supply for an entire club, I can only imagine that's impossible. So this is Sunday Morning by Samplers Remembered. It's a religious sampler. I'm gonna have to work on it, but on the upside, I can just chop off the top verse, just kind of do that, and put the border, which is already wonky, but that's the way that this little girl did it, bring it across the top somehow. And it's really, the motifs are really lovely. There's something about it that reminds me of the Uffendale sisters. And I haven't opened it up, I haven't read anything about it, but it definitely has that vibe to it, to me. This section of it. It's like a smaller Uffendale. It comes with, I'm gonna slide this around. Oh, okay. It comes with Confederate Gray. I knew I really liked the linen. And a Weeks Zweigart base. Mine's a 36 count. And then it comes with a variety of Weeks and Gentle Arts threads. You can see them all there. really pretty. So that's that. I bought, after watching Brenda and Laura's last video, I've been trying to collect project bags because I haven't turned on my sewing machine in a year. Lori, Organic Granny, you called it. You said I would make bags. I would get burnt out. It wouldn't be fun anymore. You were absolutely right. I haven't wanted to sew. It's felt like such a chore. The idea of sewing has made me kind of make this face. So I've been buying a lot of project bags. And that's fine. You know, they need support too. This one is from Nan's Needlework Notions. It's an Etsy shop. I'll show you the card. This is one of the Lori Holt bags. I really loved the predominance of the green on this one. Green's my favorite color. I love the patchwork vibe that it has. So yeah, I snatched this up for one of my 40 starts. I've been collecting bags. I probably am about halfway there to 40. I ordered a few more this week, so those are coming. You know, bags can get expensive, so I need to, you know, you kind of moderate yourself. So the people who have been so generous and been like, here's a bag for your 40 starts, like this one from Tammy Blaylock. Thank you. And that's in no way being like, send me bags. That's not what I'm saying at all. But like when I got this in the mail, I was like, oh, that helps. But I need to finish this one so I can actually put one of my 40 starts in it. But I have been doubling up a few, so maybe I'll do that with this one. So it's got 2 special samplers in it. What else? I have notes. Let's see what else we need to talk about. Oh, Gemini went on vacation. So that was really, really, really exciting and nice. We took a whole week off work in mid-October, and we went up to Asheville, North Carolina. We toured the Biltmore Estate. If you're not familiar with the Biltmore Estate, or if you're from out of the country, and because it's America's largest home, look it up. It's pretty cool. It's probably the closest thing to a castle that the US has, but it's not a castle. It's this just really big, freaking huge home with like a bowling alley and an in-ground indoor swimming pool. It was a lot of fun. I went there as a little kid, but Jim had never been there. The architect who designed it was super famous. The landscaper who designed the gardens and the grounds said that Biltmore was basically his crowning lifetime achievement, and he was the landscaper who designed Central Park in New York. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. They are kind of like, where the plan was, it's kind of self-sustaining. They have all of these animals. They made their own milk and cows, and they make their own cows. There's a winery. There's a free tasting you get to do. And during that free tasting, I think I discovered I don't think I love wine. I'm not a big alcohol person, which you're gonna laugh at as we get further into this. But yeah, you're definitely gonna laugh. Because you'll be like, didn't you say you don't really like alcohol? See, we went to Biltmore. Just a few days away from home, not going to work, eating a lot of good food. Jim and I have been dieting, and when I say dieting, I did Noom for a while, like a year ago, and that worked really well for me, with the exception of the fact that I don't like to be told what to do. I don't like having come from a psychology education, knowing the practices that you're trying to push on me, almost like you think I don't know it's happening. I struggled with Noom a lot. It worked. It definitely worked, but I don't want you to tell me what to do. I hated the coaches. Hated the coaching thing. Just like with we have insurance right now where they call you and they want to set goals with you and they want to talk about your progress and how great you're doing and they want you to report back to them. I don't want you in my life. Go away. If you set me a goal for me and you tell me what I need to do by the next time we see each other, I'm not going to do it. And I know that makes me kind of a stubborn ostrich head in the sand asshole. But I mean, at least I know myself. So that didn't go well with me. I think I finally told my coach to just stop contacting me because it wasn't helpful. I'm also can set boundaries with people really well to a fault to where it's almost rude. And maybe I need to work on that as I'm saying it out loud. What were we talking about? My personality flaws and things that I need to work on. But anyway, so I kind of took the idea behind Noom and how I learned to eat with that program and have brought some of that into what I'm doing now, which I'm essentially just counting calories. But if I feel hungry, I'm pulling in caloric density and things like that I learned from Noom. And well, I'm hungry, so I can eat a lot of this. And it's not a lot of calories. So I'm doing that. It's working. I'm down and holding at the moment. October was hard. Vacation, Halloween. We just had Jim's birthday. It's about to be Thanksgiving, and then it's going to be Christmas, and then it's going to be New Year's. So if I can just maintain at least, I would like to continue to lose, but if I can just maintain, that would be great. But we're still doing HelloFresh. That's working really well because when I come home tired from work and I'm just annoyed and don't want to think about it, and I really just want to make a giant pot of pasta and we eat it like the whole pound box, which is something that we would do in the past because we cooked it and there's more in the pot, so let's just get another serving. You don't do that with HelloFresh because they send enough for 2 people. So I brought over here a couple of the recipes I've done recently where I was like, oh, that was pretty good. I'll share that with people. This one was one that I consider expanding my knowledge of food. This was pork chops with creamy lemon pan sauce over roasted zucchini farro. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I didn't know what that was, but it's apparently an ancient grain that tastes a lot like brown rice, which we love. So this was really good. It was 600 calories. So that was awesome. This is one of my staples. They offer this at least once a month, a couple of times a month in different compositions, but it's usually something like this. And it's their zucchini and tomato flatbreads. This is 620 calories for a little pizza, and it's so good. So good. So yeah, love these. This was the best thing that I've ever eaten from HelloFresh. I could have eaten 2 bowls of it. It was so freaking good. This is the triple mushroom truffle gnocchi with cream cheese, garlicky panko, and Parmesan. Oh my gosh. If you've never had gnocchi, I don't think I had ever had it before, Jim, but his family is Sicilian, so I got introduced to a lot of Italian Sicilian things that I had never experienced before. But it's like a potato pasta dumpling thing, and it's so good. You can buy it in most grocery stores. It's like shrink wrapped across the usually on the top shelf. So check it out. It takes like 5 minutes to make. Put some sauce with it. I hate the whole chef's kiss thing, but if anything deserves it, it's this. And it's easy. It's easy. This was so good. They'll rotate popular recipes, and this one came up again, I think, in December, and it's already in my cart for that week. Who wants to see a tease of my 40 starts? The ones that are decided are in this bag. This one we need to talk about because I need to kit it. All of these are kitted. And when I say kitted, I mean the chart's here and all of the threads are here. Some of them I know what fabric I'm going to use, but I need to sit down some point in December and actually pair fabrics. Let's look at this one first. This is being added in. It was a birthday gift from Megan. She found a copy of this for me, and I have wanted this for a while. She bought me the Happy Heart sampler for my birthday. I'm so excited. It calls for all Weeks Dye Works threads. I need to get them. It's so cool. It's so tiny. I'm gonna go blind stitching it, but yeah. They fit this entire sampler on the back of this, and it really should have been like a 4-page print. So maybe I need to blow this up on the copier at work and do that. Where's the ink, right? I love this. It's been on eBay a lot recently if you really want it, but you're gonna pay for it. Megan promises me that she did not pay that for it. Thank you. I'm pretty stoked about that. But let's pull out about 4 randomly from the bag, shall we? And we'll just kind of give you a little tease. What is this one? Oh. This is Isabella Fox by GGR. This one's in here. Kitted with threads. And guys, I pulled threads from Stash, which I actually had a good many of. And then I've been sourcing threads for the past year. So if you're like, holy crap, Em, this has been a long work in progress. So yeah, Isabella Fox. I believe this is the one Heather's starting with me, who gave me the idea for this. So it's cool that I pulled this one first. So the Imperfectly Perfect Stitcher, Heather, did this for her 40th birthday this year. And I'm pretty sure this is the one that she's agreed to start with me for my 40. It's a beautiful sampler. Who doesn't love a giant Adam and Eve? What's this one? Oh, okay. This is another Jane Stanwix. This one I'm just doing with how it came from Country Sampler. But I'm going to change the pink to a white, like Nicole from Nicole's Needlework did. So that's one. Let's pull one of these smaller ones. Try not to look. What is this? Ah, cross stitch makes everything okayer. See, there's some non-sampler stuff in here that's small and petite. Like, I'm hoping that when I start this one, I can just knock it out. This is Lucy Beam. There's no threads with this because this only calls for 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 or 5 threads. And I'm just going to use whatever I'm feeling in the moment. Let's do 5. This is fun. Yeah. This is a hard out of print one to find. This is Primitive Needle Tombstone Spots. We got it kitted with the called for threads. We'll see how I feel about those. Lisa Roswell was a designing genius when it comes to motifs and putting those things together. I didn't always agree with her color choices, but this one I'm going to try to go with because it has a very cemetery feel to it. Because when I think of cemeteries, I think of moss growing on tombstones and grays and browns and drab, and there's a lot of that in here. Let's do one more. Not Forgotten Farm, the Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom. I mean, it's a good one. All kitted and ready to go. So that's a tease. Laura, the cereal starter, has been asking me, like every other time we chat, when are you showing what you're starting? Or now you're gonna share what you're starting? How about now? So I told her that I would do a little tease, and I'm going to do a full video at some point in December when I'm off work. I'll have it more organized with fabric, hopefully at that point, and have it together. Let's talk about some more things that I'm into. So we talked about losing weight and that Halloween was hard for that. The primary reason that Halloween is hard are those darn Reese's peanut butter pumpkins. The pumpkins, the trees, and the eggs, when they come out those 3 times a year, I mean, I'm done, because the ratio of chocolate to peanut butter in those is perfection. So it's a struggle. Another thing that's a struggle is all of the like seasonal specialties that come out, and I'm like, oh, I really want to try that. So Christmas tree cakes. Anybody a huge fan of Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes, where they basically have the like Crisco icing? Anybody's mom make like Crisco icing when you were a kid? Like sweet, lardy deliciousness. So Christmas tree cakes have that icing. I saw on Instagram, and I shared it on my stories, that Little Debbie is putting out a limited edition. I'm a fat girl at heart. Like, I don't care how much weight I gain or lose. I'm a fat girl deep in my soul. A Christmas tree cake ice cream. Will it be nasty? Will it be delicious? Who knows? I don't care. I have to try it. So I haven't bought any yet. Apparently it's exclusively at Walmart's here. I don't go to Walmart's a lot, but I'm gonna go and look for some Christmas tree cake ice cream. Advent calendars. That's something that Jim and I got into them a couple of years ago. We started buying like the little cheap Advent calendars with the chocolates in them, and we would do it. It would be one of our nightly rituals in December. This year I said, we don't really need the chocolate calories. Maybe we'll figure out something else. So I went to Aldi, which I know it's a German chain that has become really popular here in the US. So I went to Aldi because they have a lot that they offer. They have like cat ones and dog ones and coffee ones and I went in there looking for their cheese one, and it's in the fridge. I won't get it out and show it to you, but they have a cheese advent calendar, gourmet cheese. And every day you pop open the little window and there's truffle Gouda or jalapeno cheddar. I don't know. I'm making part of these up. So you get to enjoy your little gourmet piece of cheese every day. And I knew that sometimes advent calendars at Aldi are really hard to find, because when you look on like the Aldi groups on Facebook, people will line up the day that they come out, and like they give out, it's like Black Friday. They give out coupons and, okay, well, we only have 60, you're 61 in line, you don't get one. I mean, it can be crazy, I've heard. So I waited a couple of days because I was like, I'm not fighting people for cheese. Because I thought maybe the cheese will still be there, because what people really go for is this. It's a wine advent calendar. I don't love wine. We just had this conversation. But they had a whole pallet of them 2 days after. And I've heard some people say that even if you don't love like really expensive, super dry wines, like you might enjoy the Aldi wines, because sometimes they are a little middle to bottom shelf. I'm trying to think of a good way to put it. And sometimes I love a good cheap wine. So it's 24 little bottles of wine. Each one is 187 milliliters, which I'm American, so that could be a gallon to me. I don't know. But I told Jim I was getting it, and that, you know, we'll enjoy it together and with the cheese. And this can be our little nightly treat and ritual in December. Like there's a rosé, a snowberry blend, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Grigio, winter white Chardonnay. I usually like a good Chardonnay. White Zinfandel, Moscato. I mean, there's a lot of different ones in here. There's a number of blends. It looks like there's about 3 different Chardonnays. But they all look different. That's good. So I don't know. Go check your Aldi. And it wasn't super cheap. Like this wasn't, and shouldn't be, a $10 box of wine. A little more than that. Not ridiculous. I think it was a fair price for 24 bottles of wine. But I'll let you be the judge of what you think. They also had hard seltzer advents. They were sold out of the beer, but that's fine with me. So I'm excited about that. That's pretty cool. I'm also excited that Dexter is back. I rewatched all of the old seasons in preparation. Tonight, no, not tonight, tomorrow night is the 2nd episode out of 10 in this new season. I subscribed to Showtime for this. Like, I'm a huge Dexter fan. Rewatched all the old episodes. I've watched the first episode, and I think it's gearing up to be something good. If you're thinking, I don't want to pay for Showtime just to watch Dexter, the deal that they're running right now, which I think, and like I care if you get it or not, but it was like the first month was completely free, and then after that it was like $4 or $5 a month for a few months, and I was like, that's enough to get me through Dexter. And then I can cancel it. But the trick is, I know me, and I'll probably get addicted to some other show, and then I'll just keep it. So we'll see how that goes. I'm also really into mental health days right now. The company that I work for, they don't give so many mental health days a month or a year, but you get an amount of paid time off every year. The longer you're there, the more you get. I've been there about 8 years now, so I get an okay amount of PTO. But one of the downsides is, like when I used to work for the state, if you didn't use your PTO that year, I mean, it's just stayed in a bank. And I mean, you could have hundreds of hours when you were ready to retire and you could use that. It's a smaller company. It's nonprofit, so it's not something that they can really do. You can only roll over so many a year. It's like a week's worth. And other than that, if you don't use it, you lose it. So about this time of year, every year, I start evaluating my PTO that's left and thinking, how and when can I take this so I don't lose it? And when I will really need a mental health day. So I took mental health day yesterday because I didn't have anything on my calendar. It was just a slow court day. And it was pretty great. If we're going to be real honest with each other, I didn't put on pants all day. I'm wearing pants right now though. So, you know, pants. It was great. It was great. I hung out at home and I stitched and I did a little laundry because that's what you do, and made a nice dinner for me and Jim, and we watched TV, and it was good. Sometimes you just need a day that's not a weekend day to just be and decompress. So yeah, mental health days. Mental health is health. I've preached this before and I will preach it as long as I'm on this channel. Take care of yourself. There's no reason, like no one's giving away awards at work, at least not at my job, for who's there every single day and doesn't take time off. That's how you burn out and that's how you break. So take care of yourselves. I'm also really into not wearing makeup right now. The pandemic has turned me into someone who maybe puts on makeup once a month. I still do all of my skincare. Like every night I do my serum treatments and I put on my moisturizer and I do that kind of stuff, and now I can't see you. But yeah, there's no point in makeup if I'm not, I don't understand the point as I get older. And my mom's all like, well, honey, even a barn looks better with paint on it. Who am I putting it on for? Now, like the other night, we went out for Jim's birthday. Jim turned 45 this past week. I put on a little makeup to go out to eat. But, I mean, makeup for me is a little eyeshadow and mascara, eyeliner. That's it. I just do my eyes. I don't wear lipstick. Maybe a splash of blush, put a little color in my cheeks if I'm abnormally pale that day, which is most days. It is what it is. And the last thing that I'm into, who wants to guess? Still into plants. So over here in the corner, my plants are an investment. So I invested and bought this fancy humidifier that is pumping humidity into this room right now as it is getting close to winter. And I'm about to turn it down because it ran out of water. And when I got up this morning, it was like 34% humidity in here right now. So I put it on like the mid-level. It's saying that it's 73% humidity in here and I can feel it. So I'm about to take it back down to the low level. The plants love it though. And I don't think that reading is completely accurate because I have another hygrometer over there and it's not reading that high. But anyway, I digress. Plants that I'm into. I actually brought 5 over here to share with you guys. And this one is one that I bought at my local Lowe's recently. I took it down off of its hook and brought it over here. This is I've heard it called a Dischidia or a Dischidia, but this is a Dischidia Jerry. It has these hard little leaves. I got it, and they had put it outside in the garden center. So it was super sun stressed when I got it. It looks like it's chilled a little now, but it's still got, you can see where it's a little pink around the edges. But it had been way overwatered. It's still moist, and I have not watered this thing since I got it, and I maybe bought this a month ago. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. But a Dischidia is really, really close to a Hoya, which I believe I know I've showed you guys before, but it's a very succulent type plant. So it doesn't need a lot of water. I don't know why we're giving it that much water, but you'll find that the people working at the garden centers and Lowe's and Home Depot and stuff, they often don't know, and they just drown everything. How pretty is that? So yeah, I love this. I like to find unusual plants for cheap. So, speaking of plants for cheap, let me unwind this one. I love a trailing plant. Love a good trailing plant. This one has grown so much. I'm just gonna stop. This one has grown so much since I bought it. I found this at my local Kroger. I've been keeping it in my kitchen window because it loves the light to hit the top of it, and it gets sun stressed. This is a string of hearts. It's also with the hard little leaves. And if you have plants like this, the older leaves will harden off. So when it needs water, they'll be easier to bend. I mean, it's just so cute. I love that the vines are like this purple color. It's a pretty plant. Because it stays in my kitchen window though, and it has grown so much. Okay. So delicate. What we often do is this. And it stays in the window, all kind of piled up, and it is what it is. Another one that's living in my kitchen window is this orchid, which I'm showing you today for this reason. It's also sun stressed. Look at the purple tone that these leaves have gotten. This is a purple orchid because it was blooming when I got it the first time. Then those blooms died off, and it's getting ready to bloom again. It regrew this entire stalk and these buds recently, and I'm pretty excited for it to open up. So there's that. This is a plant I showed you guys when I first started collecting, and I'm showing it again because of how much growth it's had. I have 2 of these. This is my Philodendron Micans, little yellow leaf here. It's a beautiful plant. On video, on film, does not do this plant justice. This leaf is coming off a little true. The leaves are just shimmery and dark green velvet. And then they've got this reddish hue on the back side. But when I first got this, it wasn't trailing at all. It's So happy. So happy. So if you can find a Micans, because they are hard to find, I found this at hidden on a lower shelf at Lowe's, I think. Lowe's has great plants. It's just exploded. It did not come in this pot. It came in a different pot, I think. No, I think it came in this pot. It's beautiful. I love it. Speaking of rare philodendrons to find at Lowe's, I found this philodendron at Lowe's a few weeks ago. This is a Philodendron brantianum, also known as a Philodendron brandy. To say that I was speechless when I found it is kind of an understatement. I snatched this off of the shelf and took it to the cash register so fast. It's grown in my care. It has all this new growth. It's so happy. And it's a little loose in this pot. I keep mine in the nursery pots, inside the pots. But it's a beautiful plant. I have heard that it is a little bit more finicky than like your normal philodendrons, that it likes a higher humidity. So it's literally over there on the shelf next to my humidifier. So it's loving life right now. It's so pretty. But yeah, still into plants. Still into stitching. My buddy just came over. Come here. Come here, say goodbye with me. Yeah. The people want what they want, Buster. So that's it for today. Buster and I are going to clean this mess up, and he's not going to chew on any of the plants that I have down, because he's actually really good about that. People, as I've bought plants, have been like, you know that's poisonous, right? He doesn't bother them. Knock on wood. But I also, for him to get to any of my plants on a normal basis, he would have to work for it, because none of them are on his level. Right, buddy? And I don't know if you can tell, but Buster's a chunk. So climbing isn't something he really enjoys or is good at anymore. And I mean, if it's hard for him to get to, he's just not putting forth the effort. So he leaves them alone. So there's that. The only ones he could potentially get to are non-toxic. Like I have some Fittonia and Hoya over on the desk over there that he can hop up there and get to, but he hasn't bothered them. And if he changes his mind one day and decides to check it out, those are completely non-toxic. Right, buddy? So no concerns there, but we're going to clean all of this up. That's going to take us a little bit because we've made a giant mess. Sweet boy. And then we're going to take down Halloween decorations. All right. Thanks for watching. I will be back in December. And I'll see you guys then. We'll do a video of all 40 starts. Bye.